Today, y'all, I'm going to talk about something that people have been asking me to go in depth on for a while, and that is the guns I carry. The SIG P320. I would carry it in a Tier 1 concealed Aegis Elite holster that I did carry it with a 17 round spare mag with a 17 round mag and the firearm one in the head. This firearm is, the magazine is loaded, but it's not one in the chamber. The chamber is clear. I carried this with the Olight, what is this? The Olight PL Mini 2. I have the SIG Romeo. And again, the Wilson, this is the Wilson Combat Grip Angle. I did do a trigger job, change the trigger to the flat face trigger. And I do have the gas pedal. Now this gun, comparing it to, subcompacts, of course, like the 365s, something like that, it's definitely heavier. From muzzle to beaver tail, it's 7.5 inches. The height from the top of the optic to the bottom of the mag is just about 6.5 inches. The width of the gun is 1 inch exactly. The SIG P320 really is one of my favorite pistols, and I'll be all the way honest. The multiple stories of negligent discharges or accidental discharges, or the gun allegedly firing on its own. Now, being that I carry appendix, I could not just put that out my mind. So that's really the reason why I started to look for something to carry other than the P320. And I will say something as well. As you can see, this does have the manual safety. Now, I carried this gun driving, for hours, going to the grocery store, shopping, things like that. I had no issues with the bending, picking things up. Now, I will say, with these particular Tier 1 style holsters that you wear in the appendix, when I would get in the car, I would raise it somewhat. And then when I would get out the car and walking around, I would push it down a little bit for better concealment. But for comfortability when driving, I would lift it up a little bit. But outside of that, the gun is very comfortable to carry. Another thing that makes a gun good is reliability. Outside of the accidental discharges that happen, or the gun allegedly shooting on it by itself, I have not had any issues out of my P320. This is the firearm I've owned the longest. So with reliability, there were times in the early years, remember how there was a spike in ammo prices? The ammo that I couldn't get to shoot out of any other gun, if I put it in here, it shot. This SIG Sauer P320 M18 has never not shot. It has never not shot, regardless of the ammo or anything. A 4-inch barrel firearm. This is a 3.9-inch barrel. I think that is like the better carry guns, because subcompacts can be snappy, so you want to have a little bit more gun, but still not so much where it's not concealable. You have 17 rounds in the mag, one in the pipe giving you 18. If it wasn't for the issues of the alleged accidental discharges, this would probably still be one of my top guns. But with all the reports on how it shoots, it would be hard to recommend this as a carry gun. With me being comfortable with the SIG Sauer platform, I did want to get something a little more concealable. And that took me to the next gun I started to carry, which was the SIG Sauer P365. Now this right here, this is called a minimalist holster. And I can honestly say, this is the most comfortable holster. And even though it looks small, it does the job. Like, I'll show you. This is all it is to the holster. Has a little wing, to keep the grip pushed back. But this is all it is. It's basically just covers the trigger guard, which is really all you need. And it has a good, as you can hear, has a good retention. I mean, you can hear that. Look, I mean, it's not coming out at all. You can shake it. It's not coming out at all. So this is a very well made holster. Even sometimes, let's say I want to run to the store real quick, I might have a t-shirt and some basketball shorts or something, or some sweats. Now I will say, with the sweats or basketball shorts, you will want to place this around, but this is a good little hook. You want to place it around your string, you know, your drawstring when you tie your shorts or you tie this sweats. You want to place that around that, and it'll hold it. It'll be, you know, of course, practice your pull, your draw, but it'll definitely hold. When I was carrying the SIG, I was carrying it with a 15 round mag. Shortly after I got this, I bought a XL grip frame. You all may have seen this, seen the gun in this configuration. So yeah, I bought the XL grip frame and I was carrying it with the 15 round mags. I also had the TLR7 up there because I do like to have a weapons light on my carry guns as well as an optic. That's just my preference. When you have the stream light, I couldn't use this. The holster I was using was a Works holster that I could use I could have the stream light. This gun, very light, you know, very small. I didn't have the stipple job. I stippled this frame recently, and that's why I put it back in this configuration, you know, because I kind of like the way it looked for my first stippling job. With the threaded barrel, it's coming in just over 6.5 inches. The top of the optic to the bottom of the grip is exactly 5.5 inches, in case y'all want to see. It's exactly 5.5 inches. The width is just over 3/4 of an inch. I think on their website it has it at 0.8 inches. So very thin firearm, very easy to conceal. The only thing with this is round capacity. You know, if I can carry 17 or, you know, something like that, I would prefer that. But like I said, this is the 12 round flush mag. Well, this is not the flush mag. They have a 10 round flush mag where it's totally flush, but then I need that finger groove, because as you can see, if you have the flush mag, that pinky's gonna be hanging, and I don't have the biggest hands. So, but with the mag, with the pinky groove, it makes it just perfect as far as the grip size for my hand. What really led me away from carrying this, I'll be all the way honest, it goes back to when I was purchasing the bad ammo. You know, early on my P320, which is one of my first guns, I changed the trigger and it worked fine. So that made me a little confident. I changed the trigger on this as well. This is not the trigger that came with this gun. And let me just go on to say that this gun does have the SIG Romeo Zero optic, Zafiri precision threaded barrel, Armory Craft slight curve trigger. These are night efficient suppressor height sights. With this gun, when I was buying the cheap ammo, there were times that it had multiple light priming strikes, and I really thought it was something I did, because it's really not recommended to change the trigger on a carry gun unless you really know what you're doing, because it can lead to malfunctions. I was actually carrying it, and I was in a range one day, and you know how I say in my recent videos, I probably shoot my carry gun the least. Mind you, this was in my appendix. I was carrying it, and I just said, let me put a couple rounds through here. And you know, the thing was, now I should have caught it, because when I shot the self-defense ammo, it was fine. But when I was using this training ammo, this cheap training ammo, I put a mag in, it would not shoot. I said, yo, I'm thinking it's a problem with the gun itself. And I'm like, what if I had to needed it and I pulled it out and that happened? That blew my mind right there. I'm a fan of the P365. In this configuration, it is a little snappy, so you do have to get a grip on it, a smaller frame gun, because the original P365 barrel is only 3 inches. So you're talking about a 3-inch barrel here. It can be snappy, and you do have to have very good control with the gun this size. After I had been carrying for a while, I had always been interested in Caniks. They weren't new, but they weren't as familiar as the popular brands like Glock, SIG, Smith & Wesson, Springfield, things like that. But I was watching a lot of reviews, and everything I was seeing were pretty much good reviews. And I was always hearing about the good triggers they had right out the box. And they also came with a lot of accessories. I went on and picked up the Canik TP9 Elite SC. And when I'm showing y'all the guns, I'm showing y'all the holsters and how I carried it. And just to let you know, when I did carry the SIG P365, as well as this, I did have a magazine holster that I carry the spare mag, and I always carry the spare mag since I've been carrying. Yeah, I went to the Canik TP9 Elite SC. It comes with a 12 round mag with a little pinky extension, and it also has a base plate that you can switch to have a 12 round mag flush. And then they also had a 15 round mag that had a little extension, but I got a little sleeve for it. Now this mag that's in it, this is an 18 round magazine that I have the sleeve for it, and this is how I was carrying it, you know, in this configuration with that much grip. And as you can see in my hand, you see it, this also has the Olight PL Mini, and you know there's a lot of hate on Olights, but I have not had issues out of any of my Olights, you know, just saying. When I was carrying it, I did have the Holosun 407K up here. Outside of the P320, this was probably the gun I carried the second longest. I carried this the longest. I carried this gun for a long time. So yeah, let me go ahead and do the dimensions. From the top of the optic to the bottom of the mag is 6 1/4 inches. The width is just over an inch, 1 1/8 of an inch in width. So it is the widest of them, because even the SIG P320 is just an inch, and the length is 6 3/4 of an inch. Now, one thing I will say about the Canik TP9 Elite, I will show you, and the gun is empty, that it has one of the best triggers, especially the reset. That's the reset. I'll just show you that again in case you missed it. That's the reset. So yeah, this gun shot very well. I had no issues out of this Canik. It did not shoot sometimes with some of the bad ammo. Again, like I said, the P320 is the only gun that shot all ammo, bad ammo, everything. So keep that in mind, like I said, when I talk about reliability of the P320. And that is the M18. Maybe that's something different because it was for the military. I don't know. And I will say, I have not heard about any negligent discharges from the military when it comes to the M18 and M17. I don't know if something different, but I don't know. Just want to put that out there. So like I said, this was fine. The only thing about it is the weight. It's just a little heavy. I saw a SIG P365X macro with the compensated slide on Gunbroker, and it was for one of the lowest prices that I saw. It was used, I think it was less than 50 rounds through it. It was not a highly used fire. You could tell it was not used or abused or bad or anything. And I went on and purchased the SIG macro, because when the macro dropped, one of my buddies, he actually works at the range I go to, he had it when it first came out. He let me shoot it. I have a video of it, you know, the first time I shot the P365X macro. At this time, there was a time that I saw on RGG's channel, a regular gun guy's channel, they had these targets, splatterburst targets they were ordering off Amazon that had 15 small bullseyes. And they were doing a little challenge where you would try to at least hit each bullseye. Not so much in the bullseye, but at least hit each target. Each of the 15 targets with 15 rounds in the mag. So Brad let me shoot the P365 macro, and this was with iron sights. It didn't even have an optic on it. It was just with the iron sights. And I did pretty well for my first time shooting the gun with those 15 targets. I'll put a link to that video in here as well. I knew at that point that I wanted a macro. I knew I wanted one. Like, I love the way it feels in my hand. As far as the length of the grip, it feels perfect. As far as the length of the gun itself, even though it does have the original P365 barrel, which is only 3 inches, it does have the compensated slide, which gives you another inch, making it, you know, you're holding a 4-inch gun, what I feel is the perfect size barrel length for me. And this, I have it with the Holosun 407K. These are the factory sights, tritium night sights that come on the SIG, and they do co-witness with the optic, because this is a direct mount. The Holosun 407K is able to direct mount to the slide, which makes it perfect. It sits perfect to give you a lower third co-witness. The compensator does work. You can see some of my videos of me shooting this, and the gun does shoot flat. I can't say that. I do have the TLR7 sub. The macro has a regular Picatinny rail. The TLR7 sub 1913. I do like the flat trigger. That was something I like about it. I like everything about it. I even like the texture, but after I get, you know, a few more stipple jobs under my belt, I will be adding my own stippling to this frame as well. Let's get to the dimensions of the macro. Now again, like I said, it is still just a 3-inch barrel. From the muzzle to the tip of the beaver tail, 6.5 inches. Now if you were gonna measure from the tip of the light, which protrudes a little more, you had about 6 3/4 of an inch. Streamlight TLR7 is a very good weapon light for in this small package. 407K, I've never had any issues out of it. Personally, I feel this is the top concealed carry gun on the market. The overall dimensions of this gun is perfect, and it does have 17 round mag with one in the head, so you can see that in this small package, this smaller package, I get the same amount of firepower as I would with my P320. That's what makes this the perfect carry gun on the market. I do just want to say, after my first year or so of carrying a gun and going to the range, getting my training in, I did get comfortable the way I was able to move away from the manual safety. I'm gonna go on and go back to the tabletop. I'm just gonna show you the weight of all the guns. Like I said, the guns themselves with a loaded mag and the guns in the holster with a loaded mag. So give me a second, take it to the table. Okay, so I got the scale out. I'm gonna start in the same order with the P320, and this is with the loaded mag. Light and optic, you got 37 ounces even. And just to give you a full weight, $37.4 ounces with a loaded mag with one in the pipe. I'm not sure if y'all can see that, but we coming in at 53.9 ounces, extra round, 54.3 ounces. 3 pounds, 6.3 ounces. Fully loaded with the spare mag and holster. P365 with the 12 round mag, coming in at 24 ounces. One in the head, 24.5 ounces. 26.1 ounces. 26.5 ounces fully loaded. So you see what makes this so easy to carry. TP9 Elite SC 18 round mag, comes in at 34.8 ounces. Fully loaded, 35.2 ounces, 40.4 ounces, 40.7 ounces. And now the macro itself, coming in at 32 ounces even, with the stream light and the hollow sun 407K. We got Hornady critical defense in here, so let's see if there's a difference. 32.3, and let's see what I'm carrying around on the daily, every day. 48.2 ounces, 3 pounds, 0.2 ounces, so basically 3 pounds. It's fully loaded with the spare mag for the SIG macro. Okay, y'all, so I packed a lot into that video. I'm gonna do my best in the editing process to try and cut it down and make it as enjoyable for the viewer as possible. But again, like I said, I do want to start getting more informative about the guns, not just going to the range and shooting guns. I'm the type of person that, and this has just been me all my life, if I don't know about something, I ain't gonna be talking about it. Like, I'm the type where if I don't know what I'm talking about, I ain't gonna be talking. So my life being active with guns just started 4 years ago, 2020. Even me carrying regularly started in 2022. But I'll say in 2023, it was a point where I was probably going to the range probably 3 times a week. So now I have experience in firearms, and I've been building my experience in shooting. So again, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I definitely gave y'all more than what I usually give, and I'm going to start doing more of this. I'm not going to make them all this long. I won't make them this long. Like I said, in this video, I was talking about 4 different guns and also sharing my experience of becoming a firearms owner, becoming a firearms carrier, and sharing some of my experiences with that. To just give a final closing, SIG Sauer P320, love that company. Haven't had any problems out of them. The P320 outside of the issues that some people have reported. Like I said, I've had none of the mine. If I was to go off reliability, being for the fact that I had it the longest, it is my most reliable firearm that I have. Has never not shot out of all the time I've had it. So the P365, original P365, the best for concealed carrying. Like as far as size, weight, the different options, holster options they have, how you can carry it, it's the best for concealment. TP9 Elite, that's like a concealable gun that's an actual gun. The weight of it, you're not gonna forget you got the TP9 Elite on you. And then like I said, the macro, you know, just what I feel as overall size, overall dimensions. If something comes along and bumps the macro from being my top carry gun, I'll be shocked, but I'll also look forward to it, you know, because that is a perfect gun. So if you outdo that, that must be really great. It's perfect for me, so that must be great if you outdo that. So hope I gave y'all something with this one, but until next time, y'all, Mega Guns, ThinkMegaTV, think greater than, and above all, be responsible. Bang, 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 bang.